Hi, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Laura. Hi, hello, welcome. Today we are going to be doing the last update of the Pan Those Eyeshadows project that I am doing. So if you are unfamiliar with this project, this idea was conceptualized by Looxi 𝙎𝙝𝙖𝙙𝙤𝙪. I will have her linked down in the description box below. She is an amazing project panner, an absolute creative genius when it comes to her eyeshadow looks. I really recommend checking her out. She is one of the masterminds behind my other project, or my other favorite project, which is the Reloot. She is the other mastermind behind my other favorite project, which is the Roulette Pan collab. I will link the community playlist up in the cards. This project is so much fun. So the idea of this project is that you have all of your pans of eyeshadows, or however you really want. You can have all of your eyeshadows listed in a spreadsheet or an app, and then you randomly select one of those and then randomly select a shade inside of it. The way that I am doing this project is I have all of them in a spreadsheet, which is over here, so you'll see me looking this direction, but I have all of my items in a spreadsheet. I use the Pretty Random app to randomly select an eligible shade from my spreadsheet, and then we focus on that to hit pan on. So I'm going to quick show the color story that we were working on for the month of October, November. What are we? What are we in? What is this? So we are rolling for my December usage, and I'm really excited. So I haven't shared it yet, but I did get something new for my birthday in the mail. I will be having a birthday haul go up sometime next week, but I just kind of wanted to get this video filmed and uploaded because I have some updates and I'm ready to roll things on out, and I hope you guys are ready to follow me along on this journey. So without further ado, we're just going to start talking about products. So I'm going to pull up my spreadsheet because in true Project Pan fashion, I'm going to start with what was in the oldest product, or the item that was in here the longest, and work my way down to what has rolled in the most recent. Also, if you are new to my Project Pans, I always put the information over here, how many times I used it, how many total times I've used it, that kind of stuff. Yeah, let's just start talking about shades. And it is rush hour, so if you can hear the traffic outside, I do apologize. I cannot wait. It's only from today, it's 2 more weeks until we close on our house, which means we are so much closer for peace and quiet during rush hour. So that is very besides the point. So the first item, or the first pan of eyeshadow we have, comes from my ABH Prism palette. I don't think I took pictures, so I will have some screen grabs from the last update going as I talk about these. So I use this shade a total of 9 times this month, a total of 16 times total, and I hit pan. It was actually really recent that I hit pan. I hit pan on this 2 days ago now, and I used it today to kind of expand the pan. I have this shadow in the transition area in crease. So this palette does look well loved. There's 4 pans in here so far, but we are very far from finishing this palette up, but I'm really excited to continue to get use out of this, but she's rolling out and I'm very happy about that. The next shadow, wasn't all of them? Yeah, all of the next shades were single eyeshadows in some capacity, whether it be magnetic pans or a single jar eyeshadow. So the next one is from Ulta Beauty, and it is the shade Doppio, which is a beautiful, like, matte, almost warm toned gray. And I've used this one 8 times total. I've used it a little bit before, but 8 times this month, 8 times total. And this is what we are looking like now. So there is some disturbance in the pan. I don't know if you'll be able to really tell, but in person you can see a little tiny dip, and right in the center you can see that there is usage going on in there. So we don't have pan in Doppio yet. It's gonna stay in. It was pretty similar, honestly, on the eye as Lure. They really functioned in the same capacity, even though they are different tones. They both gave the same effect. If I wanted to deepen out the outer corner, it was a really nice deepening shade. So I really enjoy this. I like this formula a lot too. The Looxi matte, they're pretty firmly pressed, but this one it seems a little bit softer than Caffeine Queen, which was in this project way in the beginning of the year. Next we have another Looxi shadow. The shade was Duperstar. It was this beautiful blue, purple, duochrome, like shifty shade. And I used that one a total of 5 times this month. 5 times total. I did get a lot of usage before it rolled into this project because this is one of my favorite kinds of shades. And guys, I hit sweet pan in that, as Steph Lyons would say, that juicy pannual. So I'm so thrilled about the pan in this one. You know, this shade is kind of disappointing me though. I talked about how much I love this shade, but it's really sheer and it's really hard to build up, so I really had to dig my brush into it. I don't know if maybe I just had some hard pan and that's kind of why, but I did have to dig my brush into this quite a bit to get any payoff, but I'll give you a quick swatch over here. It is beautiful in a swatch. It's just so pretty, but you definitely need some form of base on this for it to really look beautiful and really be impactful. So I really enjoyed this. I got a lot of usage out of this shade in particular. I was really craving more plum tone looks this month. However, I was terrible at taking pictures this month, so I have a few. I don't have a ton, so just bear with me on that one. Man, I forgot that I rolled like 3 Looxi shades in a row. So the next shade is also from Luxi Beauty, and that was the shade Sundaze. It is a beautiful orange, like warm yellowy orange kind of shade. It's like I would say it's more of a satin finish shadow. So I used this one 2 times. I think that might be a lie. I think I've used it 3 times. This is what she is looking like. So not a ton of usage. I hope you can see that I have dipped into there. It's just, I've really wanted to play with purples. I don't know who I have become. I was joking with a friend on Instagram. Her handle is what Sanja said. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. I apologize if I'm not. But she was joking, saying I probably have like Stockholm syndrome for purples, and now like I want to wear them right now. And I'm like, you're absolutely right, because all I've been wanting to do is wear purple eyeshadows, and that is so out of character for me. I am not into purple eyeshadows normally, so it's very, very bewildering that I'm drawn to them right now. But yeah, Sundaze is going to stay in. I'm happy to continue to work on it. Then the last magnetic single we have to talk about is Colourpop in Frequency. It's a beautiful, beautiful, like peachy orange shade. It's absolutely gorgeous. I only used this one 5 times this month. So again, I was really just not interested in wearing a lot of orangey tones, but this is what we are looking like now. So I wish the color was more true to like how it looks in person. It looks a lot lighter due to the ring light, but I hope you can see it's just beautiful. I'm happy to continue to work on this. It complements the Subculture palette that I'm panning right now, so I don't mind having this in still, and I'm excited to continue to get use out of it. The Colourpop Single formula, it is much drier, and they're much more firmly pressed than some other shadows that I have in my collection. So I foresee that one being in for a lot longer than some of these other shades, which is fine. What I have to talk about is an Ulta Beauty single. It is in like one of these potted things, and it's the Lustrous Foil eyeshadow, and I have mine in the shade Silver Leaf. It is such a beautiful flaky shadow. I used to want to savor this shade, and now using it, I've kind of realized that I'm not super interested in the texture of this shadow, but I don't think you'll be able to see it, but I did hit pan. But it is a super, super malleable. It's not even good. Oh, maybe you can see a tiny bit. It's a super, super malleable formula, and I really just don't like it anymore. So I am going to probably declutter this. It's beautiful in like a finger swatch like this because it just looks so wet and metallic. But actually putting it on your eyes, it's very hard to like sheer and like meld the foil down. So it just is, it's extremely flaky and it doesn't translate as beautiful as it does like here. It just, on my swatch, it looks absolutely stunning and it makes me like want to keep it, but it doesn't perform like this and I don't know why. So I think I might be decluttering this one unless I can see if maybe using it with like a mixing medium helps make it not so crappy to use. But I did hit pan in this. I know it's extremely hard to see. My favorite part of this is roll-ins though. So there's something satisfying about hitting the pan, and then I just saw Rebecca talking about this too. There's just something so addictive about hitting eyeshadow pan. It's like intoxicating really, and then you get to roll new shades in to work on, and it's just so much fun. So I do have my Pretty Random app already set up because I am a prepared YouTuber today. So here we go. We have 3 shades to pick, so I'm just going to generate them pretty quickly. So we are working on shade 403, 323, and 140. So I'm going to take a look at my spreadsheet, figure out what those shades are. I will grab them and I will be right back. Okay, so I forgot to talk about pan percentage. So before I tell you what colors we rolled in, let's just take a moment to briefly talk about pan percentage. So I decluttered quite a few shades in my collection. Some had pans, some did not. So we actually went down a bit in the number of pans that I have in my collection. So far we've hit 58 pans of eyeshadow this year. Again, I've taken out shades that I've finished. I've taken out shades that I decluttered. So I now have 477 shades total that can have pan in them in my collection, which means we have a 12.16% pan percentage. So we went down a little bit in percentage from last month to this month. Last month I had a little over 13.5%. And with decluttering and finishing up some shades and taking them out of my spreadsheet, which I shouldn't have done, but I was preparing for a video and it made more sense for the video that I had, and then my spreadsheet was all out of whack after that. So we're not going to hit 20%. I don't think we're going to hit 15%, and I'm fine with it. I mean, I've hit so many pans this year. So just within this project and like bonus pans and everything, I've hit 50 pans this year alone, which is astronomical in my opinion. I also forgot that I did have a bonus pan to share with you guys. So in my little build your own palette that I created, I actually hit pan in Midnight Cowboy, which I kind of knew I was going to hit. It's that shade there. I had a really, really substantial dip in it, and I used it as an inner corner highlight and a brow bone highlight to those purple looks that I've been really craving this month. So I'm really happy that I have another bonus pan. So really I hit pan in 4 shades this month, 3 in the project, 1 totally separate. So now we can talk about roll-ins, which is always my favorite part, and I'm a little annoyed that I didn't get all of these last month and then roll in all of my singles this month, because I will be having 4 different palettes out on my desk again, which, I mean, it is what it is. I wish I had a little less, but it's neither here nor there. I'm excited about the palettes that I chose. Some I've wanted to be using and rolling in earlier than they have been, and one that's made an appearance quite often in this project now. So I'm just going to start with the one we rolled in first. So shade number 403 comes from this is going to be very reflective because of the ring light, my Profusion Chocolates palette, which Haley, my soul sister, gifted me, and I have wanted to get my hands and get more usage into this palette. And guys, it has so many of those grungy, beautiful greens that I want to work on this time of year. I pulled in Hidden, which is a pretty nice shade in all honesty. It's just a nice neutral, light, almost transition shade. I use that in my 3 Looks 1 palette using the Profusion palette. And I also like the matte formula in this palette a little more than I like the shimmer formula in this palette. I don't know if I just stuttered. Formula. Didn't stutter. Mumbled. I'm a mumbler. So that is, wow, that is a very cohesive color story so far. Then we go to the next shade, which was 323, which comes from my Electro Turquoise palette by Kaleidos. This is the Futurism 5. Yeah. And I picked the shade. Can you guys guess which shade I picked? This guy here, called Wired. So again, we are pretty on brand for a warm toned color story this month. It is like the most cohesive color palette I've ever had. The last shade we rolled in comes from my BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette, and I have a feeling I'm gonna be panning a red shade or like a pink. And I am panning a red shade, yay! So I rolled the third row, second column, and that is that guy there. And I gotta say, I'm not excited. I don't know why it wants me to play with all of these warm tones when all I want is like these right now. So, man, it's like the project's coming all full circle. I feel like I rolled these kinds of palettes in at the beginning of the year, and now we parted ways for a little while, and we're back to the same kind of palettes that we were working on in January. So the nice thing with this BH one is it definitely has to be built up, and I have a feeling I could totally hit pan in a month in this because that color story is just so doggone cohesive. Like, what? I'm perplexed right now at how cohesive this is. It's not what I want to wear right now, but it's very cohesive. So I'll have a little bit better clip of the color story that we are working on for the next month. Again, I am going to stop and do a total refresh and kind of revamp the project for 2021. I'm so excited and I am so ready for it. So I hope you guys, if you are doing this project, your panning is going well. I hope that you are hitting all of the goals that you want to hit, and I hope you guys are staying healthy, staying sane, and staying safe, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!